a small step, and the litmus test is that step should take under a minute. Okay, because you know you can go home and do the test. Okay, good. All right, so this small steps thing is so powerful, it's not even funny. Like, I'm spending this tiny bit of time on this talk on small steps, and yet this man has written a whole book on it. And if you read the book, it's fascinating. He talks about how he changed Japanese industry with it, and how Ford Motors used it, and how very successful people have used this concept because it actually works. Okay? So this is really big in terms of getting over all those things we wrote on the board, a lot of them fear. Okay, here's an acronym. Anyone here follow SARC? Susan, Ariel, Rainbow, Kennedy. No? Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, if you're bored, you guys probably are. You're probably all really like intellectual, read a lot. I don't know. Anyway, she's really cool. She handwrites her books. She's from San Francisco, and she's an artist that is living off creativity completely. And when I saw her books 15 years ago, I read it and I went, if she can do it, I can do it. So that was a big inspiration for me. Anyway, she has this wonderful acronym about fear that I wanted to share with you. And it is, hope you guys can see back there. All right, can you read it? Read it out loud so I know you can see it. I know my handwriting is. You have to forget everything and rest. Take a nap. Okay. Seriously. All right.
Did you say take a nap?
Yeah, I said take a nap. Fear, forget everything and rest. That's the acronym. I love that acronym. Okay. Something else with regards to fear, and like some little tricks, and that are huge. That basically when you're in overwhelm, like Mark was talking about, you're really in your head. You know, we're so cerebral in our society, and what you really want to do is get out of your head. So if you deep breath, and I know David's laughing at me because the whole way here in the car he's like, breathe. Or if you do yoga, or if you dance, or ski, if you get into your body, then you're out of your head. So immediately you're going to kill that feeling of fear and overwhelm. So if you can somehow do that in your creative process, like personally in my studio I play a lot of music. All my neighbors laugh at me, especially the young ones, because I play some not so, I play pop music. I wouldn't go there. David's probably loud. Is that on? Anyway, I play pop music that everyone in Vancouver seems like, oh no, that's so uncool. But the point is that I start dancing and I get out of my head, and then when you're moving your energy, then you can get into your creativity. So thinking about incorporating that if you tend to get overwhelmed, that's a great way to get out of it. Deep breaths, if you're into yoga, there's a lot of dancing in Vancouver. Anyway, there's so much to do. Vancouver is such an active city, so there's no problem there. All right, I have 7 minutes. Hopefully I can wrap it up. All right, I want to talk a little bit about procrastination. And sometimes when we know we have to get something done, like I would say when I was writing my book, so in the back is a book I wrote 10 years ago, and it's called The Little Inspiration Book, Ideas to Empower Women. And I remember like sitting down and being dedicated to writing every day, and that's not always super fun. And so something that really helps is to make it fun. And so you are all creative people, because we already made that assumption in the beginning that you're divine creative beings creating every part of your life. So you need to use your creativity and figure out ways, how can you make it fun? Anyone here read the book, Writing the Bones by Natalie Goldberg? Great, finally, yes. Great book, by the way. If your goal is to write a book, you might want to pick that book up. It's amazing. So there's this one activity Natalie talks about. She says, go somewhere totally different, bring your notepad, stick a cigarette in your mouth, even if you don't smoke, and just like go to a different place and embody a different person. You know, and there's so much work, there's different things you can do, but the idea is that you're spicing things up a little, you're making it fun. You know, there's another artist I studied with, Bob Burridge. Anyone familiar with Bob Burridge? That's fine, he's from California. Oh great, okay. So he does workshops and you have to paint with your non-dominant hand, and then he'll take the paintbrushes and he'll extend them with sticks, and you have to paint like really far away from your painting. But the whole idea is these people are pushing their limits, and they're making it fun, and they're changing things up a little bit, which is really great for your creative practice. But if you're, this is relating to procrastination. Often you're procrastinating because it's like this chore. Like, oh God, I gotta go edit Deb's video. Or, oh, I gotta I've gotta look through chapter 2 of my book because I wrote it really well, but let's go back and check the grammar. It may not be so fun. What about lighting a candle or putting some music on? Or in creative coaching, there's this thing called a parallel call. So you call up a buddy and you say, hey, on Tuesday at 11 o'clock, I'm going to work on my novel. What are you going to work on? And you don't have to be on the phone, but you kind of both commit to making time for your creativity. So you talk to someone and connect it. So these are all ideas if you tend to be a procrastinator. Of course, there's tons more, but I only have an hour with 6 minutes left, so I've got to fast move it. Okay, I want you to go into your childlike self, please. You guys have been so great, I know you can do it. And out of the sky, you're going to pluck out a gold star for yourself, and you're going to put it on your, come on, pluck it. Okay, awesome. And you're going to put it on your piece of paper for yourself. And if you see any gold stars around town, go and buy some for yourself. Reward yourself. Reward your inner child. Reward the fact that you showed up for this speech. It could have been so boring. I could have been so lame, hey, you know what I mean? It's good, I made it fun. But sometimes it's going to be hard for you to do your creative dreams. So maybe gold stars might be something fun. Okay, I want to show a really quick video. It's 1 minute. Because it's fun and inspirational, and that's the point of overcoming procrastination. Thanks, Drew. Oh, is there no sound? Come on.
Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still flying. And this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying.
The Latin term for that sentiment is carpe diem. Seize the day. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. We are food for worms, lads. Because believe it or not, each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing, turn cold, and die. I'd like you to step forward over here. Peruse some of the faces from the past. You walked past them many times. I don't think you really looked at them. They're not that different from you, are they? Invincible, just like you feel. The world is their oyster. They believe they're destined for great things, just like many of you. Did they wait till it was too late to make from their lives even one iota of what they were capable? Because you see, gentlemen, these boys are now fertilizing daffodils.
Okay. So, I think that's a great message. Who saw that movie? Show hands. Awesome. Okay, I have to say one more aside. You guys are going to love this. All right. I'm a lot older than I look. I think my 20-year high school reunion's coming up. I'm not going. And I went to an all-girls private school. I didn't fit in very well at all. I was always getting in trouble. And this movie came out when I was in high school. And so we were in the auditorium, and it's very formal, and the headmistress comes in, and we all have to stand and say, good morning, Miss So-and-so, and all that. And so I was sitting in the seats, and you guys remember the scene in the movie? And a phone rings, it's sitting on my lap. You guys remember this? Hello, it's God. We think there should be boys at, X, Y, and Z. It's all girls school. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Okay. So I have about 3 minutes, and unfortunately I have to skip one little piece, but I want to give you the final ending of why bother. So we talked about that at the beginning. Why be in the creative process? And what we call this in the Kaizen Muse creativity coaching are the fringe benefits. So this is why my meditation teacher, remember I spoke about him in the beginning, And he said, oh, you know, I'm not going to bother to write a book on meditation. Someone else already has, or maybe in your mind you're thinking, oh, that's been done, or I'm too old, or so-and-so's way ahead of me, and all these things that come up to stop us. But what I want to leave you with, if I leave you with only one thing, is there are so many reasons for you to take time and get into your creative process. And I've written down some, and hopefully you guys can add to this list. But let me just like throw some out. So for one is you can get to that real happy place. Like it's fun once you get in your creative groove. You learn new things. You expand yourself. You actually develop patience. If you practice, it can lead to passion. And the creative process has been known to be healing. They often incorporate it into hospitals or a hospice. They have people doing creative things. So being in the creative process can be calming. And it can make you feel alive and energized. And that you start to learn that really, and this applies to your life as well, the joy is in the journey, not in the end product. Because I know for a fact, with all the paintings I've sold in the last 10 years, and all the people that have come up to me and said, oh, like, this is great, and blah, 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 that for me, my greatest gift is, for one, talking with you. Like, this is pretty cool. You know, like, I have to say, this rocks, but also being in my studio. There's nothing like it. Just painting. It doesn't, money doesn't matter, nothing. It's just that feeling that you're connecting with a higher power. And that's really what I hope you all get a chance to discover. And no one can take it away from you, and you can't buy it. And it's so precious. So it's worth getting through all those blocks just to go and find out what that thing is for you. So thank you so much for coming. You guys